Okay, so here we've attached the canopy. We've done the inside of the cockpit, so I'm going to mask this up. We're going to keep the wings and the fuselage separate so that we can have a work on this riveting detail that we're going to put in here. I'm going to put on this intake. Need to paint in here first before we add it all in, and just add any little bits, but we're going to put all the tiny bits on right at the very end. So I'm going to clean this up, and then the next stage is going to be coming in and adding the detail. Okay, let's have a look at some of the tools that I've got that you can use for riveting. Okay, there's a variety of different things and different purposes for each one. Now, for these two, what I basically have here, I have a sharp point, which I can use to just put in rivet detail where I've sanded it out, or if I just want to put a single rivet or just some small detailing. So those are that's just a pin, and this is just a dentist tool that I've sanded and created and filed to a nice point. Then we have some riveting wheels. This is a riveting wheel from Trumpeter, relatively cheap. It comes with a couple of different size wheels, so really fine, really large, and a medium one. And then we have some slightly more expensive riveting wheels from Rivet R, and these are from RB Production. So you have a mini one, which I find really useful, and a larger one. These both have a 1mm spacing on the rivets, and again you can buy different wheels for them, so depending on how much space you want. If you're a real rivet counter, which I'm not, you could try to get it as accurate as possible. And then the final thing here, you have a couple of punches from MDC, Model Design Construction, and these are designed to be punched in a little bit like these, but they have they create more of a circle and look a little bit more, maybe a little bit more realistic. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to use some of these on this little bit of plastic card. I'm going to do a little bit of a comparison between all the tools, and then we'll see where we go from there. So first up, what I'm just going to do with this one, taking maybe, let's say, something like this, I'm just going to come in with my tool, a sort of panel hatch. I'm not trying to be too accurate here. I'm looking for the quality of the rivet rather than the quality of the actual spacing between each one and so on. So I'm just doing this quite randomly. So there we have the first two. Now if I come in with a pen here and just go over and rub that in, and then I come in with some thinners and I'm just going to rub that out. Now the pin doesn't do a bad job if you're just doing small areas. Now we'll come in and look at the riveting wheels themselves. Now you can either use a guide to guide the wheel, or you can draw your lines onto your model so you can follow it. I'm just going to do these freehand, and I'm going to push down relatively hard so that we get a really good bite. Okay, and so that's the Trumpeter wheel. Let's come in with a pen down there, rub that in again, come in, so that's the Trumpeter one. I will label these up again towards the end. Right, now I'm going to come in with the Rivet R. So this is Rivet R, same amount of pressure, and I'll come in with the small one as well. So Rivet R and Rivet R small, see if there's any difference at all, and again similar amount of pressure. And then we'll come in with a pen. So they're the main rivet wheels. All right, and let's come in now with the MDC tool. So for this tool it comes with a guide. This is a 132 guide. You can get a 148 guide. So I guess they've done some sort of measurement. I guess lots of aeroplanes are different, but this gives you a general guide to the spacings that you need. Now, normally you tape this down Now I'm going to come in first of all with the small. Now this tool, you punch it down, you give it a wiggle, and I'm not quite sure, I've not used this very much, I'm not quite sure how much pressure you need to do, and I guess it depends on the model and the type of plastic, because all models have different plastics. Now this plastic card is quite soft, so I shouldn't think I need to push down too hard. So I'm just giving it a firm push down and a little wiggle. The thing I don't like about this is it's difficult, you know, if you sort of lose concentration for a minute, you sort of, and you slip, you just don't know where you've been. You know, you've got to come along this really carefully, and it's very, very time consuming. If you were going to come, I know I've seen models where they've done this, they've come in with one of these and they've done the whole model with it, but you know, you've got to be very patient, and you've got to have a lot of time on your hands, because this would take you a very long time. So that's the small. Let's come in with a pen and see how that looks. So yeah, see, we missed one out there. I guess you could come in and fix it. And then let's come in with the extra small. On the website it sort of says that, and I forget which one's which, but one's suitable for RAF type aircraft and the other one's suitable for Luftwaffe aircraft. I don't quite know how they know that, but that's what it says on the website. It's difficult to know where you've been if you just miss one of the little teeth on the guide. You have to be really patient. Okay, so there's our rivet lines. I'm just going to come in and just do some random rivets, just to different, pushing really hard and pushing softly. There we have a piece of plastic that's got different rivets on them. Okay, so I'm going to come in now, I'm going to give it a coat of paint and primer and see how it holds up to some paint work, and then come in with a wash and try to pick out the detail again. So I'm just going to come over here, down the lines. Give it a good soak in a primer. Really flooding the whole area. Right, so I've really flooded that, giving it a really good coat. Just using Stynel Res and just coming in again, get another big coat. I'm going to come in with some Flory clay wash, and I'm just going to come in and run a bit of wash over these. Okay, dry it off. Okay, so that's the rivet detail. You may be able to see that. Let's take a photograph so you can see a little bit more closer. The trumpeter and the riveter are very, very similar actually. I don't think there's much difference in them at all. So just shows you can get for a cheaper wheel you can get just as good results. I think the good thing about this is you can get a whole variety of different wheels. You can even get quarter wheels, so you can get right into nooks and crannies where this one just wouldn't go. So in terms of versatility, this one is fantastic. And this is great for just general purpose work. It's just as good. Now the pin is okay. but the level of consistency is different. It depends how, you know, the angle you're coming in. And the MDC, they look a little bit more realistic in my opinion. The MDC small is particularly good. The MDC extra small, because it's so small, it's very, it stands out far too much from my opinion. So this one is fantastic. The only trouble is, you know, if you want to go for this level of detail, it's going to take you a long time, whereas these are going to take you next to no time at all. Just run it along the lines that you want it, and then you're done. I'm going to rivet this aircraft, so I'm going to make a decision on whether to use this or whether to use one of these. Let's see how we get on.